Good evening, viewers, and welcome to The Link. Somebody met me out there and said, you always mention The Link, you don't mention your name. From today on, I'm going to mention my name. My name is Samuel Setumba, your host of The Link. And we have tried to do our best in 2025, giving you information that you can use and opportunities around your money. And we continue to do so. Tonight we're discussing a very interesting topic which you can think about as you go into 2026. How best do you harness the workforce of the Gen Zs or Generation Z, the young people today? There is Alpha. Alpha are not yet working, but the next one, which is Generation Z, they're already in our workplace. In fact, I'm told the workplace has like 4 generations. There is the X, Y, millennial, and Z, but also there's another older one. So there are 4 generations at the workplace. And you might be the manager who is not a millennial, but you are X or older, perhaps in your mid-50s. And you are managing Generation Z people. You have a business, you have a boutique, you are a millennial, but you're employing Generation Z, you have a supermarket, and so on. We want to discuss how do you get the best out of this Generation Z, because it seems to be not the usual workforce. And in the studio, to help us with that discussion is Mr. Moses Waswa, Director PR, Public Relations at the Human Resource Association of Uganda. Moses, welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm saying welcome back because you've recently been here also educating. Thank you for giving us your time to educate us on this particular subject. Let's take the first question. People are saying Gen Z, and some people are not clear. Who really is a Gen Z worker? And why are they attracting so much attention these days?
Well, Gen Zs, there are people, they are our brothers and sisters, they are our children. Yeah. But mostly, when we talk about Gen Zs, we are talking about people born between 1996, 97 to 2012. Okay. Those are the Gen Zs right now. And that is why we say that they have already started working, because this, if someone is born from 1996, they're almost making 30 years next year. Yeah. So they're already working, and those are the guys. Yeah, those are the
why are they a big deal? Everybody's talking about Gen Z. Why are they a big deal?
I mean, because almost now every workplace, and it's also we continue seeing them increase in number at the workplace. That now all the starting positions in every organization, in every business, they're the ones now that are working. And they're a big deal because they are now, with the passing time, every year that passes, we are having more and more of these young people take up positions in the organization. So you find that most of they are now also starting to make decisions in operations, in sales, in administration. And you know, but they're also a big deal because their way of thinking is different. It's different from what we used to, from us who are born before in the early 90s and the 80s, and people in the 70s, those other generations, they are thinking different. Okay,
and we're going to come to that in a moment. So, Moses, from restaurants, supermarkets, bigger companies, according to what you have said there, Gen Zs are unavoidable. So as an employer or a business owner, what do I need to bear in mind when I bring them on board? We talked about how they think. Let's start with that. How do they think?
I think it's important to know that even in Uganda, I think when we look at the telecommunication companies that we have right now, they started in around 1997. 1997, that's when the Celtels came in Uganda. I think that's when MTN also made entry into the country. That means that we see a generation that gets to be born when technology is taking shape. And these are the guys, this is the generation that has actually seen the technology boom. that they have seen, they were born when phones were there.
It's normal things.
No more.
Yes.
They were born when computers were there. They were born when laptops were coming on the market.
Yeah.
So they are tech savvy. They know everything about technology, and so that makes them to be a bit, to stand out. And because they were born in the information age, they easily utilize the available information.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, going back to your question, employers must know that these are not your ordinary employees that we used to be, where information was hidden away from us.
Only for the boss.
Only for the boss, only for the people on the top. These guys are so informed. Talk about the latest laptop, they will tell you. If you want to give them a bad laptop and then you say you bought it from you, they'll say, no, that one I checked on eBay, it costs only $200.
Yeah.
So these are guys who are information, they have the information, they are tech savvy, they know what is going on. Before even they come to you, they will ask you, so what do you expect me to do? Okay, those days you would take, Samuel, you would take a job and you'd even ask, so what does this entire job entail?
You don't know.
Right now, a Gen Z, a young man of 27 years or a young woman of 25 years, they will ask you, so where do you want me to start and where do you want me to stop?
It is clarity.
And, yes, and you see, that is where now the other generations are facing a challenge.
Yes.
And getting annoyed because these other generations like the millennials, the X's were born in times where you were not supposed to ask too many questions.
Yeah, you were viewed as maybe rebellious if you ask too many questions.
You are viewed as rebellious. You're viewed as someone who is not appreciative. But now these ones, they will ask you questions.
It's normal to ask questions.
Yes, they are armed with information. Okay.
Yeah.
And please, they are also born in a time where schools are improving, education is improving, health is improving.
And you remind me, we used to say that you tell your children, for us we used to walk when we were going to school, but there are taxis and border borders everywhere.
Actually, children will be asking you, so Daddy, why were you walking? Because they don't know.
Yes.
I mean, you're driving them to school, so why are you telling them that you used to walk?
They don't get it.
They don't understand that story. You get. So this is the generation that we're having, and I think we need to come to terms with it. We need to understand that in fact by 2030, we are most likely to have more than 40% of Gen Zs at the workplace.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and before we go for the break, people say, but they are lazy. Is that a label?
I think I don't think it's that's a tight one, but I think we need to communicate with the Gen Zs.
The way they understand.
Yes, the way they understand. Because once you don't communicate them the way they understand, they will not execute as the way you want. They will execute the way they want. And also the reason why people say that they are lazy is because for them they understand a more flexible working environment.
Okay.
Which we don't understand. We are brought up in working from 8 to 5. You're on your desk. You're not even standing up. If you stand up, your boss will ask you, why are you standing up? You get. But the Gen Zs is going to come to work up to 11 and say, look,
I'm done.
I'm done. Let me take a break. I need to go and check someone in town, then come back and finish my tasks. And they want that kind of like flexibility. And the older generations were not brought up with that flexibility. I think if we are to take a historical, generational people at the workplace, we come all the way from the 1900s, okay, before the World War. Then after the World War, then after the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution. So you get that the workplace was a bit military. There was a bit of military in the workplace.
Structured and rigid.
It was structured and rigid. The generations now, they want things flexible.
Okay.
They want things different. They want to, but also they want to be communicated clearly.
And we're going to come back to that, Moses.
Yeah.
We're going for a short break. We're discussing how best to harness to get the best out of the Gen Z workforce. And population-wise in Uganda, those are becoming the dominant one, as Moses has said. And that is also validated by the statistics. So if you want to get the best, stay around. We're going for a short break. Don't go away. Welcome back from the break. And when we went away, we were discussing the topic, how to get the best out of a Gen Z workforce. Generation Z. These are the people born from 95, 97 up to 2012. That group. And right now, most of them are touching 30, 27, 26, and somewhere 25, 24. There's that group, and it's a large one in the workforce, and you can be my witness. Whenever you ask for people to come to work, that's there. Let it be a building site, by the way. The Gen Zs are many. You look at these borders. They're Gen Zs still, and their mindset. If you establish a supermarket, you call people to just stay around, watch customers, help customers. Most of them are Gen Zs. So there's nothing we're going to do without them. But how do we get the best out of them? Because, as we heard in the first part, the way they think is not like the generations like me and the millennials, perhaps. Moses, let's take the third question here. Okay, I know that these guys are the way they think the way they do. Technology exposed, social media exposed, information overloaded. How do I get the best out of a Gen Z workforce, even while I also have the older generation at work?
Yeah, that's interesting, and I think right now it's causing a lot. It's causing a lot of commotion for those who have not really prepared to integrate the different generations, because you realize that right now, if you sit at your workplace right now and start counting how many Gen Zs you have, you might come up with a 50%. Yeah. And then you have 50% maybe millennials. So it's really important and being clear on one, what's the mode of communication within the workplace?
Communication.
Yes. So communication is very important. Even when you have policies, you have your HR manuals and all that, you need to communicate. And the communication has to be continuous. It doesn't have to be a one-off. You know, sometimes you share policies with people and say, you read, okay? You understand how we dress here, you understand everything is in the policy. Yeah. No, they need the policies and the communication about how things are done in the workplace have to continuously be shared. Okay? How you expect people to relate, how you expect the older people to relate with the young ones. Yeah. Because you also find situations where the young generation is actually leading the older generation. Yes. Okay?
So which brings friction.
Which brings friction, because someone is seeing this is a young guy, you know, he's also very aggressive now, you know.
He comes putting on tight pants.
Tight pants and all that. So it's very good to communicate the expectations of different sides. The older generation, this is how we treat people around here, regardless of whether you're old or not. This is how we treat people. This is how we respond to problems. This is how we give solutions. This is how we respectfully respond. Now remember also that Gen Zs have grown in front of TV. Absolutely. And the screen.
And the phone.
And the phone.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information that is unstructured. So that they think that the way they have been seeing things on TV virtually and all that is how everything is supposed to be done. But at the workplace, there must be a certain structure of how things are done. Yeah. There must be a certain culture of doing everything ABC. So I think for every entrepreneur that is watching us, they need to know that once you don't have that structure, then you're going to have a lot of clashes, because everyone thinks what they know is the best. What they know is gospel truth. Okay? So, for example, if a Gen Z has information about electricity, they have read, they have a lot of information about almost everything. So they come at work, and before you know it, they're in the meter box.
They're messing up things.
Yes, they want to fix things because they have read about it.
DIU, do it yourself.
You understand?
Yes.
So what is the policy? What have you communicated about safety within the workplace? That even if this Gen Z has information about electricity, does it warrant them to go into the meter box to be the one to fix things? Do they have what it takes? So things have to be very clear.
So let's take it down, Moses, to, let's say you have a supermarket and you have hired these guys. In just a minute, what structure would I put? What must be so that these guys, there's a structure they refer to and it's not up to them, for instance?
Okay, so first of all, what is your leadership structure like? What is the reporting structure like? Because these young people, most of the times, they reject the leaders.
Structure.
The structure, the leaders. Everyone leaves any workplace because maybe the leadership is not, the structure is not clear, or also the leaders are failing to understand how to get the best out of these young people. Okay? So let's say you said if someone has a supermarket. There are people who have supermarkets and then they also want to manage the supermarket remotely. Maybe they also have another job or they have another business. Okay? So in that instance, you need to make sure that...
What are the don'ts or do's, a few of them that must be, so that these Gen Z workers have structure?
Number one, okay, so the number one thing that you have to do is you must have good leadership up. Leadership? Yes. You must have someone who really gets to understand and has a good grasp of the business you're into. Okay. And also someone who is a people person, a pro-people person. Someone who will understand these guys and get to understand what their gaps, what their needs, and then also do an informed decision on training them on what has to be done.
I love that what you say there, training.
Yes.
How critical is it?
It's very critical because everyone comes to your workplace expecting to do things a certain way. But then also you have to tell them that this is how things are done here. But also in terms of skills, in terms of adaptability, in terms of acceptability also of the workplace, you need to train them. You need to tell them this is what we do, this is what we do, this is how we do this, these are the processes. And also in terms of if there's any flexibility, communicate it. That you'll work from Monday to Friday and you'll be off on Saturday. Or you work from Monday to Friday, but you'll be off on Wednesday. Okay. Or you don't work the whole day, you'll work from 8.
You do a shift.
Yeah, you do a shift from 8 to midday, then someone else will pick it up from there. So that has to really be clear. Okay. Before you go, you must balance everything, you must sign out, you must also really give responsibility to someone else. Don't just leave. So everything has to really be clear. But you see, Gen Zs will surprise you. If you've not told them something, sometimes they might not really think ahead. And they will just
do their own thing.
You told them the shift ends at midday and they'll walk away.
They can't hand over.
Even they hand over.
Yes.
So you need to be very clear, even on the things that you think are very obvious. I want you to take an example of the Gen Zs that are working as house managers in your home. Even what is obvious,
you need to tell them.
Haven't you ever woken up to just go and check the door whether it's locked?
Yes.
So personally, I have actually given myself the responsibility that I am the security guard in my home. I make sure I check the door before I go to bed.
Yes.
For you think it's obvious. For them, it's not obvious.
No.
They will not close the door.
I was not told to lock the door, so I won't lock it.
Lock the door. Even your own children, they will refuse to lock the door.
A quick one before time runs out in a few seconds. Retention. They tend to not stick to the jobs. What are we going to do? We allow that? we live with that?
I think it's not about just living with that. It's important to give them what they want. We need to understand how they thrive. How are Gen Z thriving in the workplace?
So if I come to the association, you guys can take us through that?
Yeah, we do. At the Human Resource Managers Association, yes, we can. But also the viewers need to know that you need to find out how do this type of generation thrive. So first of all, they have a low attention span.
It's not business as usual.
It's not business as usual.
I'm interrupting you because our time is run out.
Yes, yes,
And that's a topic we can start again.
Yeah.
At a personal level, at an entrepreneurial level, at the company level, business level, how do I understand them? Because that's a different dimension.
Yes.
Understanding the human being who's called the Generation Z or Gen Z.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Are you communicating right? Is there the right technology? Am I doing... There's so many things. Yes.
Entrepreneurs, I hope we're not overwhelming you because you need to step up. You're dealing with a different generation. We're not putting them up there in the sky, but that's the reality. For those who have employed them, you can tell. We were discussing today how to get the best out of Generation Z workforce, and we hope we did tickle you a little bit. I don't think we went too deep, in fact, but we tickled you a little bit to give some thought to you as you go into 2026. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope we added value to you. That was The Link.